Full Moon Full Life. Persona 3 is the third iteration of the Persona series, where each game conveys a different message to its players. In Persona 4, the theme is about self-acceptance, uncovering the truth, and overcoming personal shadows. In Persona 5, the theme is about rebelling against an oppressive society and urges its players to think for themselves. However, Persona 3 has the darkest theme of them all, one that ties everyone down in an equivalent form of primal fear. That theme is death, and specifically the acceptance of one's mortality. Thanatophobia, better known as death anxiety, is a term used to describe an intense fear of dying. The reason people may have these fears can be due to different factors, such as a cease of consciousness, fear of the unknown, loss of control, leaving a loved one, or not making a mark in the world. The intro song that plays for Persona 3 Reload is titled Full Moon Full Life, which talks about how death should not be feared, and that everyone must take their own steps to fulfill their goals or dreams before they die, knowing that when they do, they lived with fulfillment. The video game itself is rather dark, since each player must shoot themselves to let out their persona or shadow in order to fight in the game, holding great symbolism on its own, since each character must let go of any fear in doing such an act. In the game, the song Full Moon Full Life begins as the introduction, and the very first lyrics hold much symbolism to them, stating, "It's a full moon again, crazy how time flies," encouraging its audience to live life to the fullest, even when it's gone in an instant. Another lyric would be, "Wake up, new space made when things fall apart, get up, what matters after endings, how you left a mark," and "Till you see me on the other side of the stars," which is quite self-explanatory, plainly stating to the audience to wake and get up even when things fall apart, because hidden blessings come from destruction, and life will ultimately continue. Additionally, even when life does not continue, people will see what you brought to Earth when you have passed, or in other words, are on the other side of the stars. There are much more symbolic meanings to the song, but the very last message Full Moon Full Life gives its audience is that you gotta venture life, go get it, burn your dread, suggesting that listeners face their deepest fears, which would be death. Furthermore, to conquer that fear in order to live a life of adventure with no regrets. Full Moon Full Life's message is important, especially to the study of humanities, because the study focuses a lot on how we as humans confront our mortality. This can be seen in many philosophies, religions, and stories that we have taught in class. From ancient Mesopotamia, one of the oldest literary works written is called the Epic of Gilgamesh, where a harsh king loses a friend to death and becomes desperate whilst trying to become immortal. But through many failures, realizes that immortality does not come from eternal life, but humble legacy, correlating to Full Moon Full Life's lyric of burn your dread or face your fears, which in Gilgamesh's case is mortality and death. During our 6th week of class, we briefly talked about Buddhism and how it is a transnational religion that is classified into 3 different schools, the Theravada, Mahayana, or Tibetan. In Buddhism, one of its core teachings is anicca, or impermanence, and teaches its followers that clinging onto things like materialism brings suffering, and to be rid of fear or suffering, one must embrace anicca. Just as the Persona lyric, "It's a full moon again, crazy time, how time flies," reminds people that life is short, so one should embrace it head-on, like the Buddhist who embraces death head-on through meditations like the Maranasati. Persona's Full Moon Full Life is also connected to Romanticism and their idea of relativity, considering that the Romantics saw beauty in the impermanence and the sublime. The sublime being beauty and terror, where many Romantics explored themes of death and the afterlife. When it comes to relativity, Full Moon Full Life can also be noted through the idea of time and interconnectedness, because it is also based on the beautiful but fleeting moments of life. However, those fleeting moments can be remembered through a person's legacy, just as the lyric, "What matters after endings how you left a mark," being that even through death, or when you're on the other side of the stars, you will still be remembered through the short life you led. With that said, Humanities and Full Moon Full Life teaches that though the acceptance of mortality is difficult, it should be received with open arms, because though our lives are short, they can still be filled with adventure. And I want to thank you all for listening.